The divine dragon was originally the supreme creature in the world. But in this realm, dragons are not allowed to exist, simply because dragons are naturally born to wield the powers of heaven and earth. Once the divine dragon appears, who can compete with it? Back in ancient times, a few true dragons did appear, but all were jointly hunted down by the three major forces: gods, humans, and demons. Who would have thought I'd just be reborn as a little snack stick? But as a person of Waxia, how could I be content to crawl like a snake? I have to obtain that majestic divine dragon that subdues the demons. But as soon as I had this thought, 4 big characters instantly appeared in my mind. My name is Hua Long, and those 4 characters seem to possess some kind of magic. In just a month, I grasped the golden dragon transformation technique. I leapt from a tiny 3-inch snack stick and cultivated into a millennia-old serpent over 100 yards long. Just as I was quietly murmuring to set out for Jiao, suddenly a thunderous roar echoed above the mountains and forest. In an instant, dark clouds rapidly converged in the sky. A terrifying, overwhelming celestial power descended upon me. Tribulation clouds appear, and the heavenly tribulation descends. At that moment, all the demons of Mount Taihang stared at the sky in terror. Immediately, they saw the winding body of a snake soaring upward. It stood tall between heaven and earth like a pillar holding up the sky. My entire serpent body radiated a bold and magnificent aura. As my snake form rose, peals of thunder quickly shot down from the depths of the vast sky. The sky was filled with an overwhelming and terrifying atmosphere. Meanwhile, inside the grand hall of the Snake Palace on a certain peak of Mount Taihang, a chubby snake king seemed to sense something unusual. Who the hell is so daring? He shouted angrily. The snake beauty in his arms softly asked, "Your Majesty, what's wrong?" The snake king Jujio didn't respond. He pushed away the beauty in his arms. His figure flickered slightly and suddenly appeared at the palace entrance. He gazed into the sky. Outrageous! I've ruled the snake clan for hundreds of years and have long publicly forbidden snakes from becoming dragons. Yet now a snake dares to openly defy my command. Isn't your Majesty just a snake ascending to a jiao anyway? Why get so angry about it? The rejected snake beauty sidled back up and flashed a coquettish smile. I actually think your Majesty should be happy. He's doing you a favor after all.
Hearing this,
Jujio's eyes narrowed. In that instant, the snake beauty began to feel anxious inside. She sensed a cold, merciless threat of death. If her next words weren't pleasing, she feared the Snake King wouldn't mind dealing with her ruthlessly. After all, there are plenty of beauties in this snake palace. But the snake beauty dared stand up at this moment, not just as a plaything for the Snake King's pleasure. He gave a knowing smile. Your Majesty, many in the clan have long been dissatisfied with your rule banning snakes from becoming dragons. They've harbored discontent for ages, but are restrained by your Majesty's authority, so nobody dared make a move. Now a snake is facing a tribulation so boldly. If the snake is destroyed by the heavenly tribulation, then the clan gods will realize that your Majesty set the rule. For everyone's sake. Once these words were spoken, Jujio's anger turned to joy. Beauty, you speak well. Who could have guessed the Snake King was about to kiss the Snake Beauty when he saw her gazing up at the sky, her face full of obsession and wonder. Wow, so beautiful. The heavenly tribulation is truly enchanting. In that moment, the sky was dyed dark red by the descending tribulation, and blooming tribulation flowers appeared everywhere, as if the entire landscape was covered in a sea of flowers. So dazzlingly beautiful it took people's breath away. But in the blink of an eye, a full 72 tribulation flowers had bloomed. The Snake King Jujio was instantly stunned, just a mere snake trying to ascend. Yet it triggered the Lord of Heavens to send down 72 great tribulations. Meanwhile, at Kunlun Mountain, at the border between Dongshan Taoist sect and Shishan Daluoyan Temple, Diogen, the sect leader in a purple robe, saw the scene and couldn't help but exclaim, "My boundless celestial lord! This snake demon is truly extraordinary." It actually brought down 72 heavenly tribulations from the Lord of Heavens. This time, the Lord of Heavens is really preparing to annihilate this snake. Ancient God Buddha in a golden kasaya added, "If it's a fatal heavenly tribulation, it means this snake must have an evil heart. Sect leader, it's best to deal with it sooner. Once the snake demon survives the tribulation, it will turn into a Jiao dragon." Diogenes sect leader smiled calmly. "My Kunlun slays demons to destroy evil, to eliminate sign? This snake hasn't wronged heaven or harmed anyone, so why should I kill it? Besides, the Lord of Heavens has already sent down 72 tribulations. It's already miserable enough. Let's not add to its troubles." Ancient God Buddha pressed his palms together and shook his head. "Sect leader, have you forgotten? In these 9 heavens and 10 earths, there is no place left for dragons anymore." The optimistic Diogenes sect leader seemed to recall something, and his face instantly turned grim. At this moment, a tribulation flower in the sky blossomed dramatically, radiant and exquisite, dazzlingly brilliant. Thunder and lightning intertwined within the flower's core. Then a winding bolt of purple lightning sliced fiercely down at me, accompanied by a serpent's laugh toward the heavens. My whole serpent body was instantly engulfed in blazing lightning. But I faced death 1,000 times without fear. Luckily, not long after, with a roar, I endured the first heavenly thunder. But this is just the beginning. Each blossoming tribulation flower in the sky feels like a death sentence. Heavenly thunder kept crashing down, and I continued to roar and resist with my flesh. As time went on, my scales exploded, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. My entire spine was nearly split apart. I could clearly see writhing muscles and pale bone joints. Only the pair of golden snake eyes on my head still gleamed, unyielding. The sky's thunder kept relentlessly and crazily bombarding me. For the one undergoing tribulation, this was an epic, terrifying catastrophe. But for those watching, it was absolutely a visual feast. At the same time, countless mountain monsters felt deeply moved. You just have to admire it. Because normally, when creatures undergo tribulation, the ordeal ends after no more than 9 heavenly thunders. But right now, this snake had already taken over 30 blows. Snake King Jujio watched as I was mercilessly battered by the thunder and shouted, "Did you all see that? This is what happens when you try to ascend. It's not that I forbid it, but rather the heavens don't allow it. Your Majesty, the heavenly tribulation is terrifying. I can't take it anymore." The snake beauty screamed with a pale face and shrank down on the spot, turning into a brightly colored green snake. Not only that, all the transformed snake demons in the palace quickly reverted to their original forms. Unfortunately, my snake clan lost a major figure. The Snake King didn't feel the effects of heavenly power, but he shook his head regretfully as thunder tormented me. I kept letting out gut-wrenching cries of pain. The intensity far exceeded my expectations. Keep in mind, this is only the tribulation for becoming a Jiao, not for becoming a dragon. I struggled to gaze up at the sky, where rows of tribulation flowers waited to bloom. Their brilliant, smooth beauty was also utterly shocking. Damn it, all I did was cross the flood dragon's path. Why should I endure so much heavenly thunder? This is way too unfair. But then I thought about it. There's an old Chinese saying, "The universe hasn't settled yet." You and I are both dark horses. A true man, having been reborn as a serpent, hasn't yet walked the path to dragon transformation. How could I die miserably and in disgrace? Regret it for life. Suddenly, a sharp light flashed in my eyes. Just a few flowers want to take my life? The heavens are nothing. I refused to yield. As soon as I said that, the lightning surrounding me vanished instantly. The cloud flowers in the sky wilted one by one. The overwhelming heavenly power disappeared. This marked the end of the heavenly tribulation. The serpent demon actually survived the flood dragon trial. That's unbelievable. Countless sounds of people gasping echoed from every corner of the mountains. The heavenly way can't disturb my heart. Heavenly thunder can't destroy my will. With my ambition, I gather the dragon spirit. With my battered bones, I forged the flood dragon body. From now on, the world exists because of me. The sun and moon move. Because of me, I shall live eternally and exist through the ages. Gather the heavens for me. A deep commanding voice rumbled loudly. The small beast demons stared in shock, like statues frozen in amazement. That serpent is evolving into a flood dragon. In just a few breaths, my entire body was covered in shining golden scales. Then, a massive head grew formidable, indestructible horns. Even more astonishing, my belly produced 3 sturdy legs. Look, the 3-legged flood dragon has appeared. Countless serpent demons erupted with excitement. They shouted to the sky, bowing in worship. Serpent King Juju. His expression became increasingly grim. Clearly, this is not good for him, because it means that unwritten snake tribe rule is likely to become history. Meanwhile, atop Conlin Mountain, the 2 leading humans were stunned. Neither of them expected that the serpent would actually survive the tribulation. Diogenes, surrounded in immortal energy, revealed a hint of appreciation. This demon survived disaster. Surely fortune awaits. But the ancient god Buddha of thunder shook his head. Amitabha. Once a serpent becomes a flood dragon, it's like a runaway wild horse. Since the master doesn't want to slay it, let me use my golden staff to capture it, so we can properly tame it.
Diogenes
Looked at the golden staff suddenly in the god Buddha's hand. Shocked. Old monk, you're overstepping. Diogenes slays demons. The Buddhist sect drives out ghosts. We've always worked separately. The ancient god Buddha pressed his hands together. Amitabha, if I don't go to hell, then who will? I can't just watch that flood dragon grow stronger and cause chaos in heaven and earth. Diogenes heard this, and his expression became serious. Monk, what are you getting at? Are you saying I, the master, am neglecting my duties? Just then, a young man in a white Taoist robe shot over like a streak of light. There was excitement in his eyes.
He knelt before Diogenes, his master.
Disciple Song Lang greets Master Diogenes. The master looked at his disciple and asked curiously, Old 12, what are you doing? Master, I've practiced swordsmanship for 20 years. My natal sword has never left its sheath. I once swore in my heart to use the blood of the fiercest demon to break the seal of my sword. Now that a flood dragon appears, it's a heavenly opportunity. As Song Lang spoke, his eyes flashed gold.
He looked up toward the sky above Mount Taihang.
Upon hearing this, Diogenes frowned. That flood dragon was formed from a serpent passing the tribulation. It survived 72 heavenly disasters.
Its fate is simply not to die.
Besides, it carries no evil aura. How can we kill it for no reason? When Song Lang saw his master didn't approve, he grew anxious. A flood dragon is a demon. Demons should be slain, so they don't bring harm. There are good and evil humans, so it is with demons. How can we kill recklessly? Return, master. Song Lang knelt again, unwilling to stand up. The ancient god Buddha, standing nearby, smirked wickedly. No wonder he's a disciple of Kunlun Su. He truly is a hot-blooded young hero. The serpent's nature is savage. Even as a flood dragon, it can't escape its nature. If it becomes an evil flood dragon on Mount Taihang and causes trouble, Kunlun Su will bear the blame. Song Lang bowed to the god Buddha. Master, you're right. So I absolutely can't let Kunlun Su be shamed. With that, the intangible sword intent around Song Lang flared up, almost transforming him into a giant sword. Diogenes saw this and shouted, Old 12, stop, I told you to return. But Song Lang leapt into the air. Today I may have to defy my teacher's orders. After I slay the flood dragon, I'll face your punishment, master. The next moment he shouted, sword! Instantly, a 3-foot-long sword appeared in his hand. Terrifying sword energy immediately cut through the sky. Diogenes looked at the old Buddhist monk angrily. You incited my disciple to slay the demon. Not only does this harm the flood dragon, it also harms my disciple. Amitabha. Master, you must have misunderstood me. This is for saving all living things. Diogenes' heart was extremely conflicted, because for sword cultivators, their first time slaying a demon with the sword. If they fail, their invincible Dao heart will suffer damage. And if the Dao heart is damaged, the sword will never reach its full power again. But nothing can be changed now. Let's see whether the flood dragon's fate prevails, or my disciple's luck is stronger. Meanwhile, in the Snake Palace Hall on Mount Taihang, Serpent King Juju looked at the flood dragon in the sky and saw countless serpent demons bowing in worship. This phenomenon angered him as king. If I don't kill that 3-clawed flood dragon hanging over Mount Taihang, Then the rule I've set for hundreds of years, that serpents can't become flood dragons and transform into dragons, might be destroyed like this. A serpent beauty, sensing the king's mood, spoke up nervously. King, please reconsider. Why not try to win over this flood dragon to strengthen our snake tribe? That way, we'd be among the top forces of the 72 factions on Mount Taihang, one of the leading powers. But to become King Juju, he knew this would affect himself. He waved his hand. Nonsense, woman. Don't think I don't know what's going on in your mind. After I deal with the flood dragon, I'll come find you. Just as Juju was about to step out of the palace. But from the direction of the human capital, a dazzling sword light shot out. It slashed straight at the flood dragon. Seeing this, Juju's eyes filled with surprise. Turns out someone is even more eager for the birth of the flood dragon than he is. He pondered for a while, but still couldn't make sense of it. After all, a flood dragon comes from the snake clan. What does it have to do with the human race? And the flood dragon hasn't ever gone down the mountain to cause trouble. At this moment, high above Mount Taihang, I was extremely excited. I finally succeeded in my ascension to flood dragon. What's heavenly tribulation going to do to me now? But just as I was about to descend and retreat to the mountains and forests, I saw a devastating sword light, carrying an invincible murderous aura, tearing through the sky, intending to strike straight at the dragon's head. Unstoppable to the death, my golden flame-like pupils narrowed, squinting through the sweeping sword light. My gaze finally settled on the human capital, that towering divine mountain soaring into the clouds. That mountain is veiled and mysterious, shrouded by many mystical forces. Even my all-seeing golden eyes can't pierce through it, but I can sense deep down, the one who struck at me is right on that divine mountain. I'm a newly born flood dragon, never descended the mountain, never stained my claws with human blood. Why can't they tolerate me? Is it simply the irreconcilable conflict between humans and monsters? My golden eyes turned cold in an instant. Not even heavenly thunder could do anything to me, let alone some sword energy. How embarrassing for them. I laughed coldly to myself. If I even flinch, consider it my loss. After succeeding in my ascension, I've built an invincible Dao heart, facing the terrifying sword light rolling toward me. I truly didn't dodge or avoid. I didn't retreat or defend. I bared my massive flood dragon body completely. That dazzling, undefeated sword light rushed forward without hesitation, had already drawn the attention of all the mountain creatures. Juju, having just left the snake palace, saw this scene, and was so mad he stomped his feet. Why are you standing still? Hurry up and defend yourself. If you get killed like this, you'll bring shame to our snake clan. Even if Juju didn't like him, he still didn't want him to die in such a humiliating way at the hands of a human sword cultivator. But it seemed everything was too late. The sword light that split the sky came crashing in with overwhelming force, striking hard against the flood dragon's body. Immediately, a very harsh sound rang out, like metal scraping and clashing. Sparks flew everywhere. That unstoppable sword light struck me solidly, but couldn't even break my scales. It didn't even leave a scratch. In an instant, sounds of countless gasps echoed through Mount Taihang. What a formidable body! So this is a flood dragon? And at that moment, my eyes were filled with contempt. So this is all that sword light could do, huh? Big thunder, little rain. Then I looked again at that divine mountain opposite over the human capital. A rebellious glint flashed in my golden eyes. Just this once. Don't let it happen again. The next moment I, the flood dragon, faded like smoke, disappearing from the monster's sight, hiding into the deep forest, vanishing without a trace. Meanwhile, Song Lang hovered above Kunlun Mountain, stunned in disbelief, to see his invincible sword so easily blocked. It hit him like a heavy blow. As a sword cultivator, his unbreakable Dao heart shattered instantly. He fell like a kite whose string had broken. The turn of events also made Daozhen, the headmaster, rush over immediately.
He caught his disciple in midair.
With a face full of worry. Old 12, why did you do this? Why didn't you listen to me? Master, I'm sorry. It's my incompetence. I've shamed you. Don't say any more. Let me take you back and heal you. Amitabha. Perhaps this flood dragon and my Buddha are destined to cross paths. The ancient god Buddha looked down at the golden circlet in his hand, rather regretful. If not for that Conlon disciple interfering, this circlet might have already been placed on the flood dragon's head. The earth-shaking day on Mount Taihang passed, and night fell, deep within a mountain forest. A long twisting figure swam along, 300 zhang long. Everywhere it passed, a deep gully was left behind. I wandered through the woods, murmuring in frustration, a mighty flood dragon. And I can't even find a place to settle down. Pretty pathetic, really. Yet in these vast mountains, I can't see where to go at all. I honestly don't know where to head, looking for an ideal place to settle and cultivate. Suddenly, at that moment, the temperature in this forest plummeted. A rustling came from the distance, and the ground shook violently. I frowned, feeling as if I was being surrounded. The place where I am now is no longer just the foothills, but deep within the mountains. Here, millennia-old monsters show up all the time. But I'm confident your average demon wouldn't dare bother a flood dragon like me. Who's the troublemaker here? Come out, every last one of you. I opened my jaws wide and let out a furious roar. The flood dragon aura surged all around me. All around, rows of trees snapped in the forest. A mass of powerful snake demons emerged. They all lifted their heads high, their demonic energy boiling. They looked fierce and terrifying. Seeing this, I was a bit surprised. What a force the snake clan has here. What are you all trying to do? I grew wary. Just because I became a flood dragon doesn't mean I underestimate these snake demons. We humbly congratulate you on your flood dragon ascension. You are favored by fate, one step from becoming a true dragon. We are willing to follow you and serve at your command. All through the forest around me, there was a thunderous cheer. Beneath the night, huge and ferocious-looking snake demons all crawled to me. They pressed their heads tightly to the ground. Hearing this, I was totally bewildered. Failing to react for a moment, all the snake demons here had high cultivation. Most were at least 1,000 years old. Even in the deep mountains and dense forests, we always moved with dominance. But their sudden appearance was without reason. Their purpose was actually to follow me. But I'm not some naive newbie either. I know the Taixing Mountain Snake Clan has a snake king. And he's the master of the cave, a demon king, a regional lord. Definitely not someone a newly born flood dragon like me can compare to. So you want to switch allegiances, betray the snake king, and turn to me instead.
I'm unmoved.
I speak calmly. This is a strange snake with a red crown on its head and wings on its body. It stands upright, head held high. It rose above all the other snakes in the crowd. Its tail is like a phoenix's tail. Clearly, it's no ordinary snake demon. The phoenix-tailed rooster-crested snake seemed to be the leader of the group. Its voice sounded like a crying screech, revealing its intentions. Sir, it's not that we want to break away from the snake clan or betray the snake king. It's just that each of us has a heart set on rising against the current, and a determination to pursue the path of turning from snake to dragon, no matter how many times we die. We witnessed your mighty form as you transcended the tribulation and transformed into a flood dragon today. We deeply worship you. That's why we want to follow you. All of us want to transform from snake to dragon. We beg you to help us succeed. The snake crowd responded loudly, visibly excited, but I was a little confused. You all want to transform from snake to dragon. Just go cultivate on your own. Why do you need to follow me? Because the Snake King established an unwritten rule long ago. No snakes in the clan are allowed to pursue the flood dragon transformation. The phoenix-tailed rooster-crested snake said angrily. His words were full of resentment. Like him, noble-blooded king snakes naturally cause strange phenomena on the day they were born. If they don't fall, they can compete for the Snake King position and be a regional lord. If they take the path of transforming into a flood dragon, they are destined to soar as dragons in the sky. But now in the Snake Clan, under the Snake King's rule, no snakes are allowed to cultivate the flood dragon path. Everyone has gradually let go of their dreams to become dragons. Yet today, during Heaven's tribulation, a golden flood dragon emerged from nowhere, reviving the hearts of the snakes who had given up on becoming dragons, bringing those dreams back to life. I was shocked by what I heard. The Snake Clan actually had such a ridiculous rule. From my point of view, a snake that doesn't become a dragon is just a bug. If you're born a snake and walk the path of cultivation, how could you not strive to become a flood dragon? Do you know why the Snake King set such a rule? I was really puzzled. The phoenix-tailed rooster-crested snake replied without hesitation. The Snake King is actually an ancient divine beast. The sky-swallowing python can swallow the sky and devour the earth. Not only does it have a strong body, but it also possesses innate magical powers. But the drawback is that it lost the qualification to transform into a dragon. It can only follow the pure snake cultivation path. He's worried about any snake in the clan transforming into a dragon, making his position as Snake King unstable. What do you know? Stop talking nonsense in front of the Flood Dragon Lord. Suddenly, a giant snake soared upward, its heavy shadow cast over the crowd of snakes, radiating a terrifying sense of oppression. The snake crowd immediately fell silent. My golden candle-like eyes flashed brightly. With this snake standing there, even I could feel a subtle, almost imperceptible pressure. What surprised me even more was that this giant snake had a horn on its head. Very distinctive. Greetings, Elder. The snake crowd all spoke with respect. This giant snake was actually the elder of the snake clan, respected above all the other snakes, and highly skilled in cultivation. Also, it's actually a Jiao snake. A Jiao snake is one that failed to become a flood dragon, but survived by some miracle. It managed to escape death during the tribulation. But this kind of occurrence is quite rare. After appearing, this Jiao snake didn't act superior because of age. After rising up, it bent down toward me. The old snake greets the Flood Dragon Lord. Sir, please don't listen to these youngsters' nonsense. It's not just because the Snake King doesn't allow Flood Dragon transformation. Back then, before he rose to power, he personally witnessed the old Snake King during a Flood Dragon tribulation get wiped out completely. Not just the old Snake King. Every Snake King in the clan's history. All died under the heavenly thunder of Flood Dragon tribulation, without exception. As he spoke, his tone was tinged with sorrow. Just then, the elder swept his gaze across the snake crowd. You youngsters may not know. Actually, the rule forbidding Flood Dragon transformation wasn't set by the current Snake King. It was left by the old Snake King before his tribulation.
He said if even he failed to become a flood dragon.
Then, from then on, no snake in the clan may attempt Flood Dragon transformation. The phoenix-tailed rooster-crested snake protested. If that's the case, why has the Snake King never explained it personally? I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't lived so long and followed the old Snake King back then. Otherwise, I wouldn't believe it either. But that's just the truth. The Zhao snake looked at me respectfully. Flood Dragon Lord, you are a genius unseen in the snake clan for 10,000 years. You likely didn't know. The Flood Dragon tribulation is several times harsher than the ordinary demon tribulation. And the 72 tribulations you overcame today were a definite death tribulation, countless times more intense than any ordinary demon's tribulation. The surrounding snakes, upon hearing this, all started trembling uncontrollably. They knew the tribulation today was terrifying, but didn't realize it was so extreme. Vaguely, the snakes looked over, and my gaze was filled with worship. There was some flattery in the elder's words, but they unintentionally solved the doubt buried in my heart. I was wondering during my tribulation why the Flood Dragon tribulation was so powerful. Turns out the Heavenly Lord purposely made things hard for me. Fortunately, I cultivated the Great Dragon Elephant technique. With great luck and perseverance, I survived. But I still have an ominous feeling. If the Heavenly Lord dislikes me, even if I succeed in Flood Dragon transformation this time, the next step, morphing into a true dragon, might be even more perilous than this. But a moment later, a burning fighting spirit surged in my eyes. I'm not scared of anything. Still, as always, if you don't like it, fight for it. After pondering for a while, I returned to my senses. You, as the elder of the snake clan, have your own status. Are you saying you want to follow me too, old snake? Lucky enough to survive after failing Flood Dragon transformation. You should be content. But today, hearing you say the heavens can't sway my heart, and thunder can't destroy my will, awakened me. Sir, you taught us all a valuable lesson. Transforming into a flood dragon is tough, but not impossible. If that's so, as long as I, old snake, am alive, I still have a chance. I chuckled. Elder, your determination to become a flood dragon truly impresses me. But as I spoke, I looked around like fire, observing everything. A huge crowd of snakes in the forest. But my own experience is limited, and my cultivation shallow. I'm afraid I can't agree to what you all ask. Please go back. As soon as I said this, all the snakes were shocked, because, in their view, there's no reason the flood dragon should refuse. Everyone here is a millennia-old demon. Every snake demon here is a formidable fighter. With so many snakes gathering together, that's actually quite a significant force in the Taihang Mountains. Now they've come to pledge allegiance of their own accord. Even if the other side is a flood dragon, they should still be absolutely thrilled. My lord, we are truly sincere in serving you. Please, for the sake of our determination to become flood dragons, take us all in. We'll serve as mechanism snakes. We're genuinely seeking to join you with all our hearts. Hearing this, I laughed. Those eyes, able to see through all mortal illusions, were fixed intently on the mechanism snake. I proudly raised my 300 Zhonglong flood dragon body. In that instant, these massive snake demons all suddenly seemed small and insignificant. All of a sudden, a kingly power, almost dragon-like, surged outward. It pressed on the group of snakes until they were trembling in fear. They bowed low to the ground. The snake elder didn't expect the flood dragon to suddenly turn hostile. He hurriedly explained, "My lord, please calm your anger. We have no intention of offending you. You have not offended me, but you are treating me like a fool." My voice instantly grew louder. This so-called sincere allegiance is just using me as your human shield to block the Snake King's wrath for you. Do you really think I'm a naive child? If that's the case, a whole group of powerful snake demons defecting at once, how do you expect the Snake King to react? I'm afraid if I accept you today, all these underlings, the Snake King will come for me tomorrow to settle the score. The Snake King is the cave lord and demon king of the Taihang Mountains. His foundation is far beyond what a newly risen sect like mine can compare with. As far as I understand, the cave lord demon king has at least 100,000 years of cultivation. Although I've evolved into a flood dragon, it's like I've just started out as a rookie. I'm not reckless just because I've become a flood dragon now, and I don't look down on others. Since I was originally a snake myself, I won't hold this against you this time. Now get lost. I withdrew the suppressive aura. I issued an order for them to leave. If you keep talking, whether or not you'll become true Zhaos in the future is uncertain. But you can be sure you'll at least end up in one.
As soon as I said this,
My killing intent surged. All of a sudden, the snake demons didn't even dare to breathe loudly. They quietly receded like the tide. Wait, suddenly, I inexplicably called out for the crest snake. Its massive body shot in front of me like an arrow. It immediately lowered itself to the ground, utterly respectful. My lord, have you changed your mind? But the answer it got was actually a question. I need a water-rich place to settle, somewhere suitable for cultivation. Do you know of any? This mechanism snake, born superior to others, hesitated for a moment, then finally replied to my question after a long pause. I do know of an excellent place. It's a top-notch marsh paradise. It's called Walong Pond. There's a 100-jang waterfall above the pond, and an underground river below it, ever flowing without pause. The environment around is beautiful, and spiritual energy is abundant. It's absolutely the best place for your cultivation. But there's one thing. I wouldn't dare hide it from you. Walong Pond is actually within snake territory. Snake territory? Honestly, I'd already guessed that. But that's not really a tricky problem. Even though I've evolved into a flood dragon and broken away from the snake race. Additionally, these vast, rolling, majestic Taihang Mountains, although they cover an immense area and seem boundless, each major region has long been clearly divided among the different races. Going to the snake clan's territory is much better than recklessly barging into other clans' lands. By a long shot, tell me the exact location of Walong Pool. I pondered for a moment, and then asked out loud, If you don't mind, my lord, I am willing to personally guide you there. The mechanical snake hurriedly tried to ingratiate itself. No need, just tell me the exact location honestly. You don't need to trouble yourself guiding me. The mechanical snake gave an awkward, embarrassed smile, and then described the location in detail, leaving nothing out. Thanks, I'll remember it. After that, my mighty 300 Zhonglong dragon body stirred slightly and majestically swam away. But the phoenix-tailed mechanical snake remained standing there. Its snake eyes flashed, revealing a cunning look of triumph. Mechanical snake, you've got some nerve. How dare you recommend Wolong Pool to the Flood Dragon Lord? You clearly know. Wolong Pool is the sacred place where generations of snake kings have trained to transform into dragons. Since the current Snake King set a rule, forbidding snakes from becoming dragons, that spiritual land of Wolong Pool has been abandoned. Now you're sending the Flood Dragon there. What is your real intention? Aren't you afraid you'll get burned? The snake elder, who had already left, suddenly reappeared like a ghost. But the mechanical snake retorted coldly, that Flood Dragon is smarter than we thought, but also more timid. I'm helping him. Helping, are you? The snake elder fixed the mechanical snake with a hard stare. If the Flood Dragon enters the pool, it means he's starting his own faction. When that happens, the power of our snake clan will definitely split in two. That's right, that's exactly my goal. Of the countless snakes in the clan, none should live in hiding out of fear. There shouldn't be only one path of cultivation. Elder, we are at a dead end now. We must force the Flood Dragon to accept us. If we go crawling back now, the Snake King will never let us off. The mechanical snake spoke righteously, as if he were seeking a future for all the snakes in the world. Have you considered the consequences of setting up the Flood Dragon? I told you I'm helping him. I'm even saving him, now that he's become a Flood Dragon. But still wants to keep a low profile and stay out of trouble. Isn't that just wishful thinking? Little does he know the Snake King already wants him dead. Meanwhile, my winding Flood Dragon body made its way through the mountain forests, searching diligently, and finally arrived at a huge, naturally formed deep pool. It was just before dawn. I saw 1,000 Jiang waterfall inside the pool, hanging down like the Milky Way, raising steaming white mist, dreamlike and ethereal, like an immortal realm. The scenery here was stunningly beautiful. With just one glance, I was certain in my heart that Wolong Pool was my ideal place to train. A pleased smile appeared on my face. Such a naturally formed, watery paradise is probably rare even throughout the Taihang Mountains. I imagine it's one of a kind. Yet a hint of doubt appeared in my eyes. How could such a perfect spot not be claimed by some demon of the snake clan? When my candle-like snake eyes fixed on the sparkling pool, I sharply sensed an extremely powerful demonic aura deep at the bottom. Meanwhile, the demon at the bottom seems to have sensed this uninvited guest too. A harsh shout suddenly erupted from below. Demon, get lost now. This is forbidden ground for the Snake Clan. Enter here and you die. At these words, I smiled faintly and replied coolly, what if I refuse to leave? Seeking death, are you? In an instant, a terrifying serpent aura from the depths erupted madly, bursting from the pool. The demonic aura turned into countless venomous snakes, rushing toward me in a frenzy. A millennium-old serpent demon doesn't deserve such a good place. As soon as I sensed that aura, I knew what level my opponent was. With that in mind, I completely ignored his attacks. Those venomous snakes formed by demonic aura, as soon as they neared my belly, were like water, scattered and vanished by fire. Impressive, you've got some skill. I'll deal with you myself. Then, a huge crash erupted from the center of the pool, and an enormous head emerged from underwater. What was truly amazing was that this serpent head had 3 eyes, the third growing on his forehead, looking like a tree sprite, emitting an incredibly fierce light. However, just as the 3-eyed giant snake revealed itself, it was about to display its powers and stir up chaos. But the next second, he was left utterly dumbfounded. Standing at the edge of the pool was 100 Zhonglong Flood Dragon, casting a mocking gaze at him with its massive form, its shimmering, majestic scales covering its body, giving a sense of unreachable divinity. The 3-eyed snake, as if suddenly enlightened, spoke in alarm. Could it be that you are the one from yesterday? The spirit who successfully transformed into a flood dragon, shaking heaven and earth. A flicker of amusement flashed in my eyes. That's right. Yesterday, I was still a snake. But today, I've become a flood dragon. To be honest, I've taken a liking to this spiritual land and intend to claim it for myself. Think it over carefully. Which of us should be leaving right now? Yes. A realization hit the three-eyed snake. But in an instant, a fierce light shot from his snake eyes. He shouted, "So what if you're a flood dragon? Anyone who dares trespass in the snake clan's forbidden land will die with no hope of survival." Before he finished his words, the third eye on his forehead suddenly shone with blinding light like the midday sun. A mysterious, dazzling beam shot out. In the blink of an eye, that beam struck my 100-jang-long body. Incredible as it seemed, this happened right before their eyes. My towering dragon body was instantly petrified as if hit by a spell, and in a moment turned into a solid statue of a flood dragon, as if carved with the greatest craftsmanship. So this is all your flood dragon amounts to. Nothing more than that. My cousin is the current Snake King, and entrusted me to guard Walloon. Even if you are a flood dragon, or even a true dragon descended here, it won't make a difference. But in the next instant, the three-eyed snake's arrogant grin froze on his face like an iced-over flower, though I had been petrified. To his shock, I started moving again. Scales, like autumn leaves, fell from my body in 10 pieces, and with a thunderous crash, I returned to normal. How could this be? My innate magic has never failed before. The three-eyed snake stared in disbelief. Utterly stunned. Since you attacked first, I have no choice but to devour you. Suddenly, a huge mouth gaped open like a bottomless abyss, swallowing toward the three-eyed snake. In an instant, the whole world seemed to sink into endless darkness. A moment later, I let out a satisfied belch. With that, this enchanted, picturesque marshland was now mine. I leisurely swam into the deep pool. The water was icy cold to the bone, yet it carried a refreshing sense of comfort. I was just about to get familiar with this hidden dragon pool, when suddenly, a mysterious and profound power flashed through my mind. My pupils shrank dramatically, then narrowed slightly. In a shocking burst, a dazzling beam of light shot out and struck a towering tree hundreds of meters away. The tree was instantly petrified. Even the bird perched on it didn't escape either, and was also turned into solid stone. Even I myself couldn't help but show a hint of astonishment. After devouring the three-eyed giant serpent, I actually acquired its innate magical ability. This was undoubtedly an unexpected and tremendous gain. Meanwhile, inside the snake palace, Juju was originally furious, intending to punish the flood dragon. But a human sword cultivator seized the chance first. Besides, he got entangled with other affairs, according to reports from his subordinates. News came from the capital of the human race that the great Xia Emperor launched the annual imperial consort selection. All young women could participate in the open preliminary selection. Anyone chosen could enter the palace as a concubine. Normally, the human emperor's consort selection has nothing to do with the demon race. But Emperor Jialong of Great Xia is infamous for bargaining benefits, and is addicted to beauty, neglecting his duties. He has never attended a morning court session in over 100 years since taking the throne, spending his days frolicking with beauties in the deep palace. In addition, Emperor Jialong has a peculiar hobby. He has a special fondness for female shape-shifting demons. So gradually the various tribal forces of Taihang Mountains have come to realize one thing. If you want to avoid being suppressed by human forces, you must offer that indulgent emperor a beauty. If she wins his favor, the tribe might even be granted imperial amnesty and enjoy protection. The Puli clan is a classic example of success. At this moment, inside the Snake Palace, the Snake King heard the news of Emperor Jialong's consort selection, and his eyes immediately flashed a hint of undisguised joy. He had long been planning to send a beautiful snake maiden into the palace to serve the emperor. After all, this land ultimately belongs to the great Xia dynasty. If he could send a beauty into the palace, it would not only subtly ease tensions with the humans, but also plant an informant inside to accurately grasp every move within the imperial palace. No matter what, this deal is extremely worthwhile. But who should he choose to enter the palace? Juju, with his big belly, paced anxiously in the hall, like an ant on a hot skillet, utterly anxious. Finally, his gaze, like a sharp blade, locked onto one snake maiden. This snake maiden had previously tried to persuade Jujuju not to kill the flood dragon, saying it was a matter for the snake clan, and expressing their deep bond as fellow snakes. This fully showcased her exceptional intelligence and sharp insight. What's your name? Since there are countless snake maidens glittering in the snake palace, too many to count, Juju could hardly remember the name of every beauty. The clever snake maiden was slightly stunned, since her earlier advice angered the king, who blamed her. A burst of joy instantly blossomed in his eyes like fireworks. He hurriedly knelt in panic and fear at the feet of the Serpent King. Your Majesty, this humble one is called Mo Lan Juju. Upon hearing this, she shook her head repeatedly. The name Mo really isn't ideal. You are incredibly intelligent and stunningly beautiful. From now on, you shall be called Ming Lan. Ming Lan thanks your Majesty. Ming Lan, are you willing to enter the palace to serve the human race? As soon as the emperor said this, it was like a clap of thunder. Ming Lan's mind suddenly fell into utter chaos. He was originally just a little snake spirit. His talent for cultivation was mediocre and unremarkable. Being able to serve the Serpent King in the Serpent Palace was already the most glorious moment of his life. He never even dreamed that one day he could go to the imperial capital to serve those exalted humans. When the 9th emperor saw the snake beauty Ming Lan standing there in shock, he coldly asked, "You aren't willing. This humble one will do whatever your Majesty decides. Then do you know why I'm sending you to the palace to serve the human emperor?" Ming Lan blurted out without thinking, "For the benefit of our serpent race, to plan for fortune and destiny." Well said, you truly are intelligent. I have indeed chosen the right person. Juju burst into hearty laughter. After that,
He took out a dazzling, radiant pill from his body
and threw it over without hesitation. Your cultivation is far too weak. Inside here are 10 precious key spirit pills. I will gift you 10 virgin boys and girls as well, for your enjoyment. Before entering the palace to be chosen as a concubine, you must raise your cultivation to the Millennium Dao rank. Understand? Thank you, Your Majesty, for your generosity. This humble one will never forget Your Majesty's kindness. Ning Lan kowtowed repeatedly in gratitude. After handling this matter, Juju was just about to enjoy a great feast, when his brow suddenly furrowed. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. A large hand gently slashed through the air above the hall, instantly producing a vivid and lifelike image. It was a dynamic scene of a flood dragon entering a deep pool. Seeing this, Juju was stunned for a long time. You sure know how to choose a geomantic treasure for yourself. I haven't even had time to come looking for trouble with you. Yet you've delivered yourself to my door, and you even dare to devour my cousin. At once Juju's figure flickered like an illusion, and instantly vanished from the Serpent Palace. Meanwhile, after thoroughly and meticulously exploring the entire Walong pool, I quietly sank my 100 Zhonglong flood dragon body deep to the bottom of the pool, and in a flash I disappeared without a trace.
Next,
I devoted myself wholly to cultivation without distraction, vowing to transform into a true dragon and soar through the heavens as soon as possible. Just as I was about to begin practicing the great dragon elephant technique, outside the cave, a terrifying world-destroying demon aura suddenly surged up. "Flood dragon, get out here now!" An incredibly domineering roar rolled down to the pool's depths. Without thinking, my massive flood dragon head burst through the pool's surface like a tidal wave. In an instant, monstrous waves shook the world. The next moment I saw, hovering above, was a dignified and resplendent middle-aged man floating in the air. Serpent King. I blurted out. From his aura emanated a terrifying snake-like dominance. This was the supreme majesty unique to a true king. You do have some perceptiveness, knowing I am the Serpent King. Why haven't you yet kneeled and paid your respects to the Serpent Clan? Juju's expression was utterly indifferent, and he spoke slowly. "Greetings, Serpent Clan." I looked up and burst into wild laughter. Have you ever heard of a precedent where a flood dragon bowed and paid humble respect to a snake? Whether flood dragon or true dragon, in this vast world, power and strength reign supreme above all. That is the ultimate law of all things. Even if you become a flood dragon, your meager cultivation is insignificant before me. It is only right for you to kneel and kowtow to me repeatedly. Juju said this in a lofty and condescending tone, his gaze full of scorn and disdain. Enough with your nonsense. My expression darkened, and I said coldly, I've heard you are jealous by nature, forbidding snakes from becoming flood dragons or dragons. So I suppose you're here to take my life today, the life of a flood dragon. A look of jealousy instantly twisted Juju's expression. Which ignorant fool dares to slander your majesty? How dare you spread such baseless rumors about me? It's true, I don't allow my clansmen to become flood dragons and then dragons. But calling me jealous is utterly absurd. It's the biggest joke under heaven. Juju's eyes brimmed with world-destroying power as he stared at me intently. You should know, it would be child's play for me to kill you right now. In my eyes, a flood dragon is nothing but an aunt. And what about a dragon? I countered. Could it be you're afraid I will become a true dragon one day and pose a great threat to you? Upon hearing this, Juju threw his head back in wild laughter, as if he'd just heard the most ridiculous joke in the world. What are you laughing at? You think I can't do it? A fierce gleam flashed in Juju's eyes, like exploding stars. It's not that you can't, but in this boundless universe, no one could ever succeed. There simply cannot be a true dragon in this world. Hearing this, I felt as if struck by lightning, staring at the Serpent King floating above Walong Pool, bewildered. What could he possibly mean by these words? Legend has it that the Grand Xia dynasty was able to rise to power, not just because of Emperor Zhuanyuan's wisdom and might, but more importantly, because they were aided by a divine dragon. Only then was such an everlasting dynasty forged. So how could it be that, in the Serpent King's words, there could never be a true dragon in the world? Juju then said coldly, I'm surprised you, a snake, managed to become a flood dragon. It's not as if you have any great talent, but you should know when to stop. If you give up now, you may still have a sliver of hope. If you insist on continuing down the path to become a dragon, even if I don't kill you myself today, you are still doomed, dying with no burial place. What exactly do you mean by this? Please explain clearly, I shouted angrily. The sage once said, all creatures with 9 orifices can cultivate immortality. Among the people, it is also said that everything under heaven can transform into a dragon. But through endless ages, no true dragon has ever appeared in the world. Do you know why that is? Is it because all beings, throughout creation, are useless and incompetent? Just helpless fools? No, it's because heaven does not permit it, Juju said. As he spoke, his voice suddenly rose. Because heaven forbids it, man forbids it, and even demons forbid it. There must never be a dragon in this world. Dragons may be revered in shrines by mortals, worshipped in the name of longevity in every household, but they cannot truly exist in this world. Juju's words rumbled in my ears like thunder.
If a divine dragon were to appear,
it alone would rule supreme, standing above all of creation. The Serpent King's words hit me like 5 bolts of lightning, leaving me utterly shaken. Since heaven forbids it, even a snake becoming a flood dragon will bring about a terrifying calamity from the heavens. It's all about extinguishing the desire of all living beings to become dragons. Humans are not allowed, simply because the Great Xia dynasty once relied on a divine dragon pillar to subdue the world's monsters and spirits. The human race knows all too well how terrifyingly powerful dragons are. Now the dynasty is established, their dominance secured. They no longer need the existence of dragons. As for demons, they're even more straightforward in their reasoning. Those demon kings with deep cultivation who rule their territories. How could they possibly tolerate a dragon looking down on everyone from above? Why would they want a dragon that reigns supreme over the world hanging over their heads? Because I recognize your extraordinary talent. You are a true prodigy of this era. I'm telling you all this so clearly. If you, as a flood dragon, give up your ambition to become a true dragon now, I will allow you to return to the Serpent clan. Otherwise, rather than letting you die at someone else's hands, I'd rather finish you off myself right here and now. The Serpent King threatened coldly, yet I remained immersed. In the Serpent King's astonishing, earth-shattering words, I could hardly believe that the simple path of a flood dragon transforming into a true dragon was actually fraught with such peril. To ask me to give up becoming a dragon, to abandon my own faith and aspirations. Absurd, how absolutely fucking ridiculous. So what if gods, humans, and demons won't allow it? If the whole world is my enemy, so what? Suddenly my eyes burned like blazing infernos, erupting with flames powerful enough to scorch the heavens. 100 feet of searing focus, resembling a pillar holding up the sky, standing tall over the coiling dragon pool. The aura radiating from my entire being felt capable of crushing the heavens and earth together. Zhujian saw my fearless, unyielding stance, and his expression instantly turned as dark as the deepest abyss. Looks like you really are stubborn beyond reason. You'll die for your ignorance. I've explained everything in detail, yet you're still lost and refuse to wake up. You insist on seeking your own death. Fine. As the king of demons, I'll grant you your wish. Just as the Serpent King was about to strike with his full power, a clear, resolute, unwavering voice thundered down from above, cold and determined. It's not that I'm stubborn. It's you. You're wrong. Not wanting to be suppressed by my presence. Zhujian soared up like a dazzling meteor, rushing into the sky with unstoppable force. In the next instant, he shot into the infinite expanse above. Tell me, what mistake have I made as king? If you can't give me a convincing answer, today I will tear you to pieces myself. Your soul will be utterly destroyed. Juju's gaze was as fierce as a raging storm. Demonic energy surged wildly around him. And above his head, there suddenly appeared a colossal python phantom, so overwhelming that it shook the world itself. I remained utterly unfazed by the Serpent King's immense pressure. Those flame-like golden eyes of mine shone with an ancient, profound light. For a python to become a dragon, it must possess an ambition fierce enough to shatter all worldly shackles, and even a wild heart bent on devouring the world. Only by moving forward step by step, at every stage climbing higher, defying fate itself, can one finally stand at the gate of heaven and look down upon all beings. If the heavens won't allow it, humans won't allow it, and even demons and the whole world won't allow it. So what? If you don't have the arrogance to swallow the world whole, such heroic spirit that could engulf mountains and rivers, what makes you qualified to become a true dragon? You possess a profound and powerful Tao cultivated over hundreds of thousands of years. Yet you're so hesitant and cautious, afraid to move forward. You lack unwavering, death-defying resolve to transform into a dragon. As the Serpent King, you also lack the broad mind, to embrace all things with an open heart. Instead, you block the path for all serpents to become dragons. Why not ask the other serpents in your clan if they've ever feared life and death or the destruction of their path, or feared complete annihilation? So I say you are wrong. Will you truly admit defeat and accept it? Will you acknowledge your mistake? My words ring out like the toll of a great bell, resounding and forceful. Each and every word, each one like a treasured gem. Juju was left speechless by my arguments. Clenching his fist tightly, the Serpent King asks, "Are you truly willing to risk death just to transform into a dragon?" The Serpent King asked one last question, his voice echoing as if from the deepest abyss, sending chills down one's spine. That's right. I've been unruly and untamable since birth, unbound by the world's restraints. I've already gone to my limits. How can I waste this towering body I've achieved? I must break all shackles and create a legendary tale of my own as a divine dragon. Youth truly is daunting. Indeed, the younger generation is admirable. I've really seen something new today. Kid, anyone can talk big and sound clever, but the key is actually doing it. Don't say I didn't give you this chance. I'll watch with eyes wide open to see if you truly ascend to the heavenly gate and transform into a dragon. As Juju spoke, a faint glimmer of appreciation flashed in his eyes. At that moment, he suddenly glanced down toward the dense forest and saw snake shadows darting like ghosts, restless and uneasy, panic-stricken.
He let out a deep, cold snort.
Then turned and soared off into the sky, vanishing instantly into the vast heavens, leaving no trace behind. With the Serpent King gone, I was left utterly astonished. I had expected an earth-shattering struggle between us, A life and death battle worthy of gods and ghosts. I was even prepared to flee in panic. Little did I know my eloquence actually saved me from a crisis of life and death. For a moment, I couldn't help feeling a little proud. My towering body, like a pillar reaching the sky, slowly began to sink down, eventually disappearing into the depths of the Walong pool, and was gone. Jokes aside, I quickly gathered my thoughts and entered a meditative state to cultivate. Right now, I'm simply too weak, unable to withstand an attack from any king of another race. Now, only the dragon transformation attracts the heavenly tribulation, which for now can be temporarily left aside. While I'm deep in the heart of the Taihang Mountains, human influence can't reach me. In such a distant place, there's nothing to fear. My only concern is drawing the jealousy or hostility of some demon leaders. I just hope I have more time to cultivate. 1,000 years as a flood serpent, 10,000 years to become a dragon. I need to rapidly raise my power in cultivation to the level of a 10,000-year-old demon. I closed my eyes, eliminated all distractions, and threw myself wholeheartedly into cultivating the supreme dragon technique. And just at that moment, the spiritual energy around Walong Pool suddenly erupted, surging and rushing toward the bottom of the pool. Soon after, countless snakes gathered near Walong Pool, each one looking fierce and menacing, striking fear into all who saw them. It was simply unbelievable. The Serpent King actually left just like that. He didn't even attack the flood dragon. An old serpent over 230 feet long spoke in human tongue, its voice ancient, deep, and hoarse.
He was the chief snake who had wanted to join earlier.
Among the old serpents, another stood tall, a strange serpent with a red crest and feathered wings, its eyes shining with extreme excitement. I bet right. The flood dragon managed to persuade the Serpent King, and not only emerged unscathed, but really stayed at Walong Pool to cultivate. You know, Walong Pool is a blessed paradise, of incredible importance to the serpent race. It has always been the exclusive cultivation spot for the Serpent King. It speaks to the Serpent King's attitude, which has dramatically changed. Letting the flood dragon stay means he has allowed all serpents to become dragons. All of you guys should thank me, the mechanism snake, for my foresight. Since the Serpent King won't interfere, that means we can all stay here to cultivate. When he said this, the other serpents respectfully bowed to this phoenix-tailed, crimson-crested serpent and expressed their heartfelt gratitude. The flood dragon truly is powerful. Even when he had pushed himself to the limit, he could withstand the Serpent King's immense pressure without the slightest disadvantage. He really talked back to the Serpent King just now. I've never seen the Serpent King so at a loss for words. That was truly refreshing. The snakes buzzed with excited chatter. The second flood dragon of our clan is definitely going to be me. Phoenix-tailed crimson-crested snake. The feathered crimson-crested serpent declared proudly. But just as he was getting carried away, the surface of Walong Pool churned violently. Like a raging storm, a strange and mysterious beam of light suddenly shot up from the depths and instantly struck the mechanism snake's body. The mechanism snake shuddered all over, watching in disbelief as his huge body turned to stone at a speed visible to the naked eye. When the rest of the serpents realized what happened, the once arrogant phoenix-tailed, crimson-crested serpent had already become a stone statue. The snakes drew in a collective breath, each staring with shocked eyes at the surface of the pool, not daring to even breathe. At that moment, a cold, regal, undeniable voice echoed up from the pool. This is the price for scheming against me. If there is a next time, this will be your fate.
No mercy.
Please, Lord Flood Dragon, forgive us. Please allow us to cultivate in the nearby forests of Walong Pool. The chief snake crawled toward Walong Pool in submission and spoke in fear and trembling. Silence. Let me cultivate in peace. At these words, the chief snake and others were overjoyed. Thank you, Lord, for your generosity. May you ascend to the heavenly gate and become a dragon soon? In the next moment, the snakes scattered like birds and beasts, darting into the surrounding forests, each seeking a place suitable for cultivation. Days later, in the deepest, most mysterious part of Taihang Mountains, stood a magnificent towering tree, one so massive its height blocked out the sky. As far as the eye could see, it stretched endlessly, What was even more astonishing, on the crown of that tree stood solidly a grand and awe-inspiring castle. The castle was imposing and spectacular, luxurious and dazzling in the extreme. This was the treetop castle, whose owner was Jiyu Changming, one of the 4 demon kings of the Taihang Mountains. Lord Jiyu Changming. Inside the treetop castle at this moment, a grand banquet of demon kings was underway. Demon kings from all races were arriving to attend, stand neatly on both sides. They all cast respectful gazes, looking up at the throne above the main hall. The throne is empty. Everyone is eagerly waiting, full of anticipation. Soon a well-dressed young man walked gracefully toward the throne. In an instant, a wave of awe-filled voices echoed like a tide. We greet the esteemed Lord Evergreen. No need to stand on ceremony, everyone. Please all be seated. Jiyu Changming took his seat on the throne. He gently waved his hand. Immediately, each demon king, as if granted amnesty, obediently sat down in their respective seats. Afterward, a group of graceful maids stepped lightly, bringing fine wine and delicious delicacies. Jiyu Changming smiled slightly. The reason I invited you all today is actually not for some earth-shattering matter. It's just that this old tree, have been cooped up in the castle for too long and got bored. So I wanted to invite everyone to catch up. I heard the Emperor of Daxia has started another imperial consort selection, and I also heard you all send maidens to the palace. Is this true? These words hit the demon king's hearts like thunder. Don't be nervous, everyone. I have no intention of blaming you. Although demons and humans are no longer mortal enemies as before, we're still fundamentally different. Doing this kind of thing, doesn't it compromise the pride and dignity of my demon clan? The demon kings could only force a smile, looking thoroughly awkward. Enough, enough. Just don't let it happen again. Bu Changming raised his hand high, and then gently put it down, suddenly changing the subject. Those all-seeing eyes looked toward one of the obese demon kings. Fat Snake, I must congratulate you. Your snake clan has actually produced a Jiao dragon. Quite impressive indeed. The demon kings present immediately wore odd expressions. Juju was called out by name. He stood up extremely embarrassed. You flatter me, Your Excellency. It's just a small little snake, not worth mentioning. Another demon king took the opportunity to chime in. Since you became the head of the snake clan, Juju, didn't you strictly forbid snakes from becoming Jiao or dragons? When did that rule change? Old Knife, you're quite ambitious, trying to raise a real dragon, to rule over the rest of us. It's said that if a true dragon is born, everyone will bow to Juju. This is highly disrespectful to our lord. Multiple demon kings started adding fuel to the fire. Juju glared fiercely at the demon kings around him who were making noise. Shut your mouths, all of you. That Jiao is just a reckless youngster with no sense of the world. Can't possibly stir up much trouble. Don't go slandering me here. Judging from your words, Juju, you seem determined to protect the Jiao. Are you really planning to raise him into a true dragon? A golden light flashed instantly in Jiyu Changming's eyes on the throne. Bright as a shooting star, Juju was instantly overcome with a deep chill. He hurriedly said to the lord on the throne, if you're not pleased with that Jiao, you're joking, fatty. I mean, no offense. Whether it's a flood dragon or a true dragon, Mount Taihang can tolerate anything. The real concern is that the flood dragon may never become a true dragon, Jiyu Changming said with a cheerful smile. But a flash of deep disappointment toward the Snake King showed in his eyes. You're absolutely right, Your Excellency. The reason I spared that flood dragon was to set an example and deter the others, so those beings who dream of becoming dragons will know. Even if someone happens to be lucky and manages to make progress, they'll still eventually perish under the heavenly tribulation at the gate of ascension. There is absolutely no way a true dragon could ever be born in this world. But then Jiyu Changming's eyes flickered. What if, by some chance, that flood dragon really does become a true dragon? Juju was stunned, and his heart slowly sank into an endless abyss. He knew the rulers have always harbored deep fear toward the divine dragon, but he didn't expect their fear had reached such a chilling degree. A slim chance is just what I hope for. I've lived countless ages. I've seen everything in this world. But I've never once witnessed the heavenly tribulation for a flood dragon to become a true dragon at the gate of ascension. Listen up. None of you are allowed to touch that flood dragon. Don't ruin the spectacle for me. We'll see soon enough. But his expression gradually turned ugly. Among the demon kings present, you look at me. I look at you. As their glances met, they'd already come to a silent understanding. As the rulers of the Taihang demon clan, they would never allow even the slightest chance for trouble. A kill means a kill. What the powerful say, you should take the opposite meaning. Only then can you grasp the true intent. A grand banquet held above the trees ended hastily just a few hours later. After all the demon kings had left one by one, Jiu Changming, who'd been sitting quietly and smiling on the throne, suddenly darkened his expression. A stunningly beautiful woman gracefully floated behind Jiu Changming, obediently massaging his shoulders. What are you thinking about, Your Excellency? Are you angry with the Snake King? Jiu Changming turned slightly and quickly grabbed her massaging hand. Why would I be angry at that fat snake? The beautiful young woman pressed her pretty face gently against his broad chest. Obviously, the Snake King was just playing dumb with you. All that talk about using the flood dragon as a warning was just a cover. He was trying to protect it. Doesn't he know you don't like dragons, Excellency? Let him protect it then. How could I possibly care about a mere flood dragon? Someone of your stature would never be afraid. What worries you is that the flood dragon's appearance might disrupt the established order of Mount Taihang. If there's one exception, there will be many more. If there are too many flood dragons, sooner or later a true dragon may appear. The young woman's words sparked a trace of surprise in Ji Changming's eyes. He reached out and pinched her chin, lifting this little girl's face up. Not only are you growing more beautiful, you're also getting much cleverer. I should have sent you to the imperial palace from the start. The girl broke free from his embrace and pouted in protest. You already married off my sister, the 100-flower fairy, to the emperor of Great Xia. That old man. Now you want to send me away too? No way. I want to stay by your side and serve you forever. Don't worry. You and your sister, the twin lotus fairies, are both exceptional. Sending just one away was already enough to break my heart. I could never bear to send you the lark fairy away as well. Saying that, he pulled the lark fairy back into his arms. Then he continued, you were right just now. The flood dragon itself isn't frightening. What worries me is breaking the no-becoming dragon rule of Mount Taihang. At the banquet just now, I should have ordered the Snake King to kill the flood dragon. Jiu Changming said faintly. I always thought that fat snake was a smart one, wise and understanding the risks involved. But I didn't expect him to mess up as well. Overestimated his intelligence. All for a newly hatched little flood dragon. He's gone and upset your excellency. That's just stupid beyond words. What do you know? Among the countless races in Mount Taihang, if I had to choose one, creature most likely to become a true dragon, it would probably be that devouring python of the fat snake. But he knows when to advance and when to retreat, and goes with the flow. After becoming king of the snakes, he not only avoided seeking to become a true dragon himself, he even set the rule forbidding his snakes from trying, which put my mind at ease. Otherwise, the snake clan would have been in chaos long ago. As he spoke, a trace of admiration flashed through Jiu Changming's eyes. Yet such a clever man suddenly lost his head today. It's truly a tough dilemma. The lark fairy curiously asked, Excellency, are true dragons really that terrifying? You are one of the 4 great demon rulers of Mount Taihang. How could you fear a single dragon? 10,000 years have passed, and no true dragon walks this world. Dragons exist only in legends. But I have seen a true dragon with my own eyes. The dragon's majesty and its supreme dominance over all are still a shadow in Jiu Changming's heart that he'll never forget. Even though that fat snake made a mistake, the things I said at the banquet today should make most demon kings understand. Someone will surely handle that flood dragon. There is no sense of time in the mountains, and days pass in the blink of an eye. With the help of my training in the elephant dragon arts, my inner power has grown by leaps and bounds. Endless spiritual energy from heaven and earth pours into my body, never slowing for even a moment. And as my power continues to grow, my body becomes larger and larger, from 300 zhang to 400 zhang long. During this time, I've also mastered many magical techniques, turning stone into gold, stirring rivers and seas, even a spell that can raise the dead. But my favorite by far is a spell I've learned in the past 2 days, the art of changing sizes freely. When bigger, I can swallow clouds and spit mist. When smaller, I can hide my form completely. I can soar through the cosmos when I will, or conceal myself in the depths of the ocean's waves. This is a magical ability that only true dragons possess. And now, even as just a flood dragon, I've already mastered it, all thanks to the elephant dragon arts. That powerful path. I've trained relentlessly during this time, never slacking off, but all along in the darkness, I've felt a mysterious force calling out to me. This mysterious summons came from many places. Only after my power deepened recently did I realize it was the power of people making wishes. People pray to the divine dragon, but in a world without real dragons, only I, this flood dragon, I'm left to receive those prayers. After figuring this out, I instantly realized my chance to earn merit had arrived. A true deity must protect the common people and always show some sign. So, I, resting at the bottom of the pool, began to connect with that wishing power. In an instant, a brand new scene unfolded before my eyes. With just a quick look, I was left utterly shaken. Outskirts of Kyoto, at the foot of Mount Taihang, tens of thousands of villagers make their homes here. Villages stand scattered like stars, stretching out as far as the eye can see. The villagers live by the mountains and rivers. At sunrise, they work diligently. At sunset, they rest and sleep in peace. Although the mountain's monsters and demons often cause trouble, bringing chaos and calamity, life is barely manageable. Because for generations, the Imperial Astronomical Bureau has established shrines in every village, placing clay statues of spirits and deities inside.
Each spirit
Is tasked with protecting its village, defending against the harm of monsters and demons. And the Daxia dynasty, with the Azure Sky Sword as its core, strictly controls the worship across the land. Only ghost spirits honored for their deeds in life, or righteous monster spirits who accumulate virtue, may have shrines built and receive offerings. All others are considered evil. But after 10,000 years of tradition, the Dragon Emperor became incompetent in his later years. Favoring his demon concubine, corruption took hold of the court. Even the guardian spirits of the villages became greedy and corrupt. When drought struck, they refused to bring rain, forcing the people to make costly daily offerings, even demanding wives and concubines, ignoring the people's suffering, leading to widespread disasters. The populace could barely survive. People lost all hope in the official spirits. Just then, a dragon shadow appeared and rain fell in Taihang Mountains. People, despite imperial bans, secretly gathered at the foot of the mountain to pray, all hoping for rain from the Dragon King, pinning their hopes on him. The wandering Dragon King manifested, bringing a heavy downpour to the hundreds of thousands living in the outskirts. An elderly man, tears streaming down his face, raised 3 sticks of incense, kneeled heavily to the ground, looking up to the heights of Mount Taihang, begging the Dragon King to show his power. Save my whole family. May the true dragon reveal his miracle. Great compassion and mercy, saving those in hardship. A sea of people knelt and bowed together. The scene was grand, heroic, and tragically solemn. The incense smoke rose like mist and clouds, intertwining, floating toward a certain area of Mount Taihang. At the same moment, inside the shrine of a certain village, the statue on the altar began to subtly shake. Clearly, it was a spirit the villagers worshipped. But between its brows, it showed a vicious and menacing look. How outrageous! These ignorant, lowly people dared to betray their deity. A thunderous, enraged voice boomed in the shrine. Incense smoke rose from the altar statue. Unbelievably, it transformed into flesh and blood, finally becoming a gigantic red-robed spirit nearly 30 feet tall. Utterly ignorant. Where would there be a dragon in this world? Praying to the legendary Dragon King for rain. It would be better to give their incense to me instead. The red-robed spirit watched the swirling smoke. A look of pain flashed in his eyes. Meanwhile, statues worshipped in the altars of each village, also began to reveal their supernatural powers, just like the red robe spirit, if not for their own limitations. Unable to easily leave the village shrine, they would have stormed the foot of Mount Taihang. May the true dragon manifest power. Please save us poor people. Villagers at the foot of the mountain cried out to the heavens. Wails echoed everywhere. The prayer rituals had continued for several days. Without realizing, all the incense had burned away. And the spirits in the villages witnessed this scene. A trace of satisfaction flashed in their eyes. Praying to the true dragon is such a massive joke. There have been no dragons in this world for ages. Might as well pray straight to the Heavenly Lord for rain. But just then, a deafening crash of thunder suddenly resounded from the sky, and the skies over the outskirts instantly darkened. Dark clouds gathered. Gale winds howled. Seeing this, the spirits raised their heads to the sky. Their expressions gradually sank. Is someone really bringing rain to spoil our plans? The people at the foot of the mountain stared in disbelief, watching the billowing black clouds rolling in. They could barely breathe. Could it be that the true dragon has heard the people's prayers? Tearing open the sky, ready to pour the waters of the heavenly river down to earth? The people were both shocked and delighted, fearing it was all just a dream. Yet, above the heavens, a bolt of lightning cut through like a sharp sword, marking the start of the rainfall. The next moment, rain poured down in torrents, soaking the land of the outskirts,
carrying a mystical kind of power.
Falling on the fresh green grass, the grass turned bright green instantly, landing on the drought-stricken fields. The crops were revived. The entire plain burst with new life. It's raining, real rain. We're saved. The mass of people at the foot of the mountain suddenly broke down crying and hugged each other. Damn it, who's bringing rain to these lowly peasants? Stop at once. The spirits in the shrine were so enraged smoke almost came from their nostrils. Wait. They turned, swift as light, toward the sky over Mount Taihang, and were dumbfounded the next instant. Their eyes were filled with shock. Inside the clouds, a dragon's shadow could vaguely be seen, serpentine and indistinct. How could this be possible? Is it really a true dragon revealing itself to bring rain for the people? No, the dragons of the Grand Xia dynasty went extinct ages ago. That's a flood dragon, not a true dragon. Only now did the spirits suddenly remember. A snake in the Taihang Mountains had survived a celestial tribulation and evolved into a flood dragon. The damned flood dragon is hiding in the Taihang Mountains. We spirits are powerless to do anything about it. We'll have to report to Qingshen's Sword and consult the grand deity. Meanwhile, a regular meeting was taking place in Qingshen's Sword. The first-ranked judicial deity, Cheng Zhuang, sat with solemn composure at the head. His figure was tall and imposing. But then, his expression suddenly shifted. His razor-sharp eyes quickly swept outside the grand hall. Where did this sudden rainfall occur? The 4 great judges and 8 generals were all in confusion. They all turned to look at the sky outside, but all they saw was clear blue beyond. A scene of perfect peace and serenity. One spirit was just about to report, when suddenly, a peal of thunder shook the air without warning. One chief reacted with lightning speed and dashed outside the hall, scanning the surrounding world with sharp eyes, then rushed back after grasping the situation, reporting to the deity. It's a torrential rain falling on the outskirts, vast and mighty, pouring down endlessly, blanketing tens of thousands of villages in the outskirts. No way this was caused by the shrine spirits alone. As soon as he finished speaking, all the deities present were stunned quiet. So someone's bringing rain without permission? Cheng Wang snorted coldly. An overwhelming pressure surged forward like a giant wave, filling the space in an instant. Calm yourself, deity. Let me investigate carefully. We'll find out exactly which demon dared to act so boldly. No need. I will go see for myself. Before he finished speaking, Cheng Wang's towering presence had already vanished from the grand hall, and the next moment appeared on the outskirts beyond the city. All the other deities had no choice but to obediently follow. At this very moment, in the outskirts, it was as if the Heavenly Lord appended a giant treasure basin, pouring rain crazily downward. With Cheng Wang present, he carefully observed the volume and intensity of the rain. A trace of astonishment flashed in his eyes. This is not the rain spell conjured by the wind and thunder church. that draws on moisture to form rain, but rather the art of summoning wind and rain, a divine power that shakes the very heavens and the earth. A truly masterful feat. Let me try to discern the truth, his gaze sharp as a torch. It really was the power to summon wind and rain. Absolutely earth-shattering, utterly breathtaking. The deity next to him hurried to flatter him. Everybody look. There's a dragon silhouette flickering in the clouds. The people are chanting, "Long live the true dragon." Why make such a big fuss? It's just a flood dragon stirring up trouble. Cheng Huang glared angrily at the speaking chief, thinking to himself, how could a mere flood dragon summon wind and rain? Such divine power. Judge Lu Yudao stepped forward. It's said the flood dragon in the Taihang Mountains has only existed for a few months. Yet it's already clamoring to impress the common people, trying to build up its own reputation, accumulate incense offerings, and reap merit. Its ambition is obvious. Does it truly dream of turning into a true dragon? The commoners pray for rain. The flood dragon brings rain. Cheng Hang also keenly picked up on this key detail. A pair of incomparably dignified eyes swept across all the deities present. Every village has a spirit residing as guardian. So why would people pray to a flood dragon for rain? Can any of you give me a reasonable explanation? The deities who were indignant moments ago went completely silent. Quickly summoned the local earth god to Kingshan to meet me. With that, Cheng Huang fixed his gaze deeply, analyzing the situation. With one glance from Yudao, his eyes filled with disappointment. Hidden dragon pool, Taihang Mountains. Villagers offering incense in worship, praying for the true dragon to show its glory, and for rain to fall, prayers echoing. Those continuous wishes flooded my mind. The wall-to-wall crowds at the foot of the mountain were clearer than ever. I had already been eager to earn merit. Of course I wasn't about to pass up such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Without any hesitation, I cast the spell to summon wind and rain on tens of thousands of villages in the outskirts, unleashing the magic. But I had massively underestimated just how much this spell would take. The mind-blowing energy consumption. Once the spell was cast, all the nearly boundless mana in my flood dragon body was instantly drained dry. Luckily, I was lying safely at the bottom of the pool, so I managed not to look too miserable. Then I focused completely on observing the rainfall and how long it lasted. The downpour was like a waterfall, with unstoppable force. But the rain itself lasted just about 10 minutes at most. 6,000 years of cultivation and power, only in exchange for a mere 10-minute rainstorm. I pondered quietly, and couldn't help but give a bitter laugh. Just like the hard-working wage earners of my last life. At least once my mana was spent, it could slowly be restored. For now, having exhausted myself, I planned to use the elephant dragon art to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and recover my drained mana. As for the villagers anxiously waiting below, all I felt was overwhelming guilt. That's all I could do with the rain. I had already pushed myself to the limit. But just then, I suddenly sensed keenly a hint of something unusual. I saw above the pool, as if a mysterious deity had sprinkled a layer of dazzling golden sand. A thin hair-like strand of divine light came sweeping toward me from above, covering everything. The next moment, the holy light deepened, like an auspicious aura descending from the heavens. In that instant, I felt as if my soul had reached the ultimate transcendence. My mind was immersed in boundless joy. Suddenly, inspiration struck me. I blurted out, "This is the blessing of virtue." As soon as I finished speaking, I saw holy light shining on my forehead. A scale gleamed anew.
It looked as sacred and solemn
As the radiant Buddha marked between a bodhisattva's brows, shining brilliantly. Such an earth-shattering transformation made even calm and composed me gasp involuntarily in shock. My dragon scales had miraculously transformed into meritorious scales. No evil can stain them. No corruption can touch them. Not even heavenly fire can melt them. Nor can thunder destroy them. Innately unassailable. Is it just one meritorious scale? I felt a little unsatisfied, greedily desiring more. However, as the first meritorious scale successfully formed, the holy light on my forehead flickered, and then a large number of meritorious scales surged forth like mighty waves, spreading rapidly. In the end, a full 1,000 meritorious scales, neatly arranged, adorned the head of this flood dragon. This rain was truly worth every drop for me. I was in disbelief. Could virtue really be gained so easily? But what I didn't know was that the rain, seemingly just 10 minutes long, had actually nourished the lives of over 1 million in the suburbs. I quietly made up my mind. The rain can't stop. Once my power recovers, I must work even harder tomorrow. Time flew by. Another day passed. Relying on the elephant dragon technique, I absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. But due to the rain, my magic had been completely depleted. I was already running out. To conjure wind and rain for me, a thunderous shout echoed across the sky. The 6,000 years of magical cultivation in my body was once again instantly drained. Lightning and thunder clashed in the sky, while wild winds whipped the thick clouds. The sky above tens of thousands of villages in the suburbs instantly turned dark. This sudden and overwhelming commotion left countless people at the foot of the mountain in utter shock. They were about to bring incense and offerings, to pray devoutly for rain at the mountain's base. The Dragon King is truly kind and compassionate. This time, we don't even need to hold a ceremony. It must be because the Dragon King understands how hard our lives are, and especially helped us save on offerings. 3 feet above our heads stands the Dragon King. Heaven truly does have eyes. The people were moved to tears, and as the sobs of the people echoed, the rain, together with dazzling lightning, poured down like a celestial river flooding the earth, once again nourishing the parched suburban lands. Dragon King, please make this rain even heavier. Me. Takang Village is going to carefully sculpt a statue for the Dragon King of the mountain. Launch a big construction project. Build a temple. Offer devoted worship every day. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone's eyes instantly lit up. In past years, we've prayed for the spirits in the ancestral hall to appear. That difficulty. It's even harder than hoping for good fortune at our ancestors' graves. We'll no longer suffer those humiliations. Our Jingyang village will also build a grand temple for the Dragon King. Set up an altar for long life. Many village chiefs eagerly responded. Everyone, calm down for now. Building temples for the gods. Only the imperial astronomers have that right. If we build temples in private, it's a serious crime under the laws of Daxia. A calm and composed elder spoke to advise. Who cares about all that? The court grants so many titles to spirits every year. How many of them are actually sincere about bringing blessings to common folk like us? If Baxi village is too timid, they don't have to participate. But before the debate had gone on for long, that torrential rain suddenly stopped. Someone shouted in panic. It must have been because someone said something disrespectful just now. The Dragon King in the mountain heard it. Enraged the Dragon King. Now he'll no longer bring rain to our suburbs. Dragon King, please calm your anger. My Takang village will definitely become your most loyal followers in the future. We will absolutely build you a magnificent temple. Meanwhile, on my side, after the rain stopped, it's happening. I saw a holy light shining above my head. Merit descended. Not more, not less. Once again, above my head. Gained exactly 1,000 pieces of spiritual merit. But unfortunately, my head is massive. If I want to cover my whole rocky skull with merit scales, I probably need tens of thousands more. There's still a long way to go, but the benefits are endless. When it's time to undergo the tribulation and transform into a dragon, I'll just use my merit-filled head to withstand the heavenly thunder. Just picturing that scene makes my heart race. Restore magical power. Enhance cultivation. Keep striving. A lifetime of self-motivation. Sign-in task completed successfully. One immediately entered cultivation mode. In the following days, it rained every day in the suburbs. And sometimes it would start pouring early in the morning without any warning. Sometimes the villagers had barely opened their eyes, and the rain would suddenly stop, just like a rooster crowing to wake everyone up. But even so, the ordinary villagers remained simple and kind. Some villages with better conditions have already found a perfect spot with favorable feng shui in their village, and started building a temple for the Dragon King in the mountain. At the same time, east of Taihang Mountain, at Nayutu Mountain, this is the territory of the Ox clan. The king of the Ox clan, Bull Demon King, is one of the 72 demon lords of Taihang Mountain,
His power is unfathomable.
and incredibly strong. What's more, he has an extremely explosive temper. A while ago, Bull Demon King returned from the Evergreen Lord's tree fortress and started eyeing my guests outside the cave mansion. An ox leader holding a steel trident hurried inside. What does the king command? Bull Demon King didn't say much. Didn't the Taihang Snake clan produce a flood dragon? Go capture it for me. I'm going to skin it and pull out its tendons. Then make a soup for the Evergreen Lord. Yes, my king. The ox leader took the order and left, not showing any surprise on his face. For ancient demons like them, if it's not a true dragon, it's just like an ordinary long snake. At that moment, a beautiful fox demoness walked in gracefully holding a bowl of hangover soup. My king, why the urge to catch a flood dragon as soon as you wake up? Did it provoke you somehow? If it had provoked me, I'd have punched it to death already. No need to go capture it. Bull Demon King chuckled and pulled the beautiful fox demoness into his arms. This flood dragon, I'm catching it to offer it to the Evergreen Lord. It's not easy to please the Lord on regular days, but this time it's a rare opportunity. A moment later, a burly black-haired man, with thick black hair all over, led 3 half-beast pigmen, and quietly infiltrated the snake clan's territory. This pig demon was ordered by his own pig king to capture the flood dragon. He himself is a 10,000-year cultivator and a fully transformed pig demon. Listen up, the king said. If we bring the flood dragon back, we might get a share of dragon meat to taste. They say dragon meat is incredibly delicious. Eating it can greatly boost your cultivation. The 3 half-beast warriors holding broadswords, their eyes lit up when they heard this. After that, they weaved through the snake clan's mountain forest, heading straight for Walong Pool. But suddenly, the ground began to shake violently over a wide area. Rows of trees toppled down ahead, revealing a massive creature. It was a gigantic python covered in black scales. The moment it appeared, it blocked the view of everyone behind. The Titan Python chief, Pig Demon Yandy, showed a flash of surprise, seeing the Titan Python approaching them. The 3 half-beast minions quickly transformed into 3 giant porcupines as big as hills, ready for a direct confrontation. Don't move yet. If we alert the Snake King, we'll be in huge trouble. The pig demon still had his wits, but as soon as he finished speaking, he was shocked, because he saw, standing atop the Titan Python's head, a fat middle-aged man, grinning at him, the Snake King, the main character. The pig demon cried out in horror. This is bad. The pig demon's face turned gray. In an instant, an overwhelming aura of the Snake King blanketed the entire area. The 3 transformed porcupines immediately dropped to all fours and shrank in size at an incredible speed. I'm a subordinate of the Pig King, paying respects to Lord Snake King Juju. The pig demon barely maintained human form and fell to his knees with a thud. Here to capture the flood dragon, the Snake King named Juju, standing atop the Titan Python, spoke in a calm voice. The pig demon couldn't help but shudder, not knowing how to answer. Cold sweat began to drip down his back. At that moment, the Snake King spoke again, and completely surprised the pig demon. You stay. Let the 3 little underlings with you go fetch it. The pig demon suddenly understood. Since my lord dared send me to catch the flood dragon, the demon lords must have already reached an agreement. There's already some tacit understanding between them. Thank you, Lord Juju, for your kindness. The pig demon quickly expressed his gratitude, then ordered his 3 minions to go get the flood dragon. Go, wait outside the Snake Clan's territory. The pig demon didn't dare object in the slightest, and quickly left. Snake King Juju just watched the 3 half-beast men silently, heading towards Walong Pond. Don't say I didn't help you stop them. The pig demon with 10,000 years of cultivation. You can handle these 3 little minions, right? Always causing me trouble, and you dare to come here without permission. Now it's the demon clan who has come. I'm afraid it won't be long before the top human experts arrive too. Meanwhile, the 3 pig demons with orc blood reached Walong Pond quite smoothly. Upon first arrival, the first thing they saw was this blessed wetland that deeply amazed them. The flood dragon must be hiding at the bottom of this deep pool. One pig demon's eyes gleamed fiercely and snarled viciously. "We're not good with water. Yell for him to come out." The other two demons nodded in agreement. But before they could even shout, suddenly the woods rustled all around. Sweeping in from all directions came an icy snake demon aura. The temperature within a 10-mile radius plummeted. The three pig demons gulped subconsciously. No need to use their eyes. They could distinctly sense the forest was crawling with snakes. "Don't make any sudden moves. Let's observe the situation first." One pig demon was clearly intimidated. None of them dared to shout toward the pond. Not long after, Walong Pond welcomed new visitors. This time, there were 6 of them. Their whole bodies coated in black and gray, with sharp faces. They were weasels. The 6 weasels lined up neatly, standing at the edge of the pond, each pair of glowing eyes fixed venomously onto the water's surface. "You guys also came under your king's orders to capture the flood dragon?" the leading weasel demon asked. The pig demons hurriedly nodded, but a hint of joy flashed in their eyes. "Then why aren't you taking action?" the weasel demon asked, puzzled. "Are you waiting for others to arrive?" "There is only one flood dragon, so we're all competitors here. It's still early. No need to rush. If you're in a hurry, then you go first," the pig demon replied affably. Weasels are always cunning and clever, especially those who cultivated to black fur level. They immediately glanced around, looking toward the forest, and were almost scared into screaming. What they saw was not trees, but rows of horrifying snake heads, each one enough to send chills down their spines. It seemed if they made any rash moves, those snakes would flood over like a tidal wave. It really is still early. We're not in a hurry either. Even the 6 weasel demons lost their nerve. So the 3 pigs and 6 weasels just stood there awkwardly by the pond, staring at each other. No one dared to make a move. Luckily, it wasn't long before 5 burly minotaurs showed up, each holding a steel trident. "Flood dragon, come out. We are here on orders from the bull demon king to catch you." 5 bull brothers, check out the surroundings first, the pig demon kindly reminded them. However, the 5 minotaurs marched forward without even glancing sideways. Their work efficiency was extremely high. They leapt straight into the air. Arriving above Walong Pond, they swung their steel tridents toward the surface. A thunderous boom echoed. Water splashed up like pillars, spraying everywhere. The flood dragon rolled out. San Juliu Leng, ready to kill, immediately scanned the surroundings. They discovered that the serpents lurking in the woods only glared ferociously. There was no sign they wanted to charge out. They were speechless for a moment. Turns out they're just audience members. "Let's join in too. There's only one flood dragon. Can't let the bull clan seize it." 6 black-furred ferret demons glanced at each other. They also flew toward the surface of Walong Pond. The trio of pig demons who arrived first now couldn't care much else. They also took to the air. When they were all hovering above the pond, their entire aura suddenly surged. Ferocious demonic energy swept madly across the sky. "Flood dragon, roll out. Stop hiding like a turtle." Under the sweeping, soul-crushing demonic energy, they started shouting arrogantly. Just then, a loud racket erupted. An imposing red crane roared like thunder. It shot straight up from the bottom of the pond. The big demons from all 3 clans immediately flashed deadly looks. All stared at the pond's surface. At this moment, a huge whirlpool appeared in the center of the pond. In the next second, a giant flood dragon head burst out from the whirlpool, like a shock to the heavens. My golden pupils, like burning candles, glanced at the big demons floating above. Suddenly, a vast flood dragon pressure descended like a sea, heavy and overwhelming on them. The big demons from all 3 clans were instantly stunned and terrified. Their once fierce eyes were now wide and round. Wasn't the flood dragon here just a moment ago? Why does it feel like facing the king of their race? You wanted me, the flood dragon, to come out. Here I am. What exactly do you want? I looked calmly at the demons hovering above. A trace of mockery flashed across my eyes. We 3 pig demons held our big swords. Suddenly, their speech became stuttering. If you're just stuttering, then shut up. Let someone who can speak smoothly try. My eyes, filled with pressure, looked at the 6 black-furred ferret demons. The usually sharp-tongued ferret demons shivered. You guys shut up too. I shifted my gaze to the tall, muscular minotaurs. The minotaurs snorted heavily. Their mouths opened, but not a single word came out. Since none of you can speak properly, then just stop talking. But since you all came, even if you're uninvited, I'll still entertain you properly. Welcome to Walong Pond. As soon as I said this, a biting cold wind howled out. In the next moment, the entire pond roared and surged, churning up monstrous waves. The giant waves transformed into ferocious flood dragons. They lunged at the big demons of the various races. The serpents in the woods stared wide-eyed in horror, watching everything unfold. In their ears, very quickly, came the gut-wrenching screams of those big demons. Those big demons. All had over 5,000 years of cultivation. They were no ordinary beings. Why, as soon as the fight started, were they screaming pitifully and overwhelmed? It wasn't that these demons were weak. It was the overwhelming aura of the Flood Dragon Lord that had already shattered their ranks. And this water technique killed without a trace. It was indeed a powerful spell. Elder Snake's eyes sparkled. With a venomous gaze, he saw through some of the secrets. The snake group listened, their faces full of awe. And another thing, did you notice? Our Flood Dragon Lord came to Walong Pond to cultivate for just a short while, yet managed to strengthen his power by thousands of years. Upon hearing this, the snake group sucked in a breath. Elder Snake sighed softly. Truly a once-in-10,000 years cultivation genius, born destined to transform into a true dragon. At that moment, a pig demon above slammed viciously into their forest. A huge pit appeared nearby instantly. Right after, a soaking wet minotaur crashed down. Those big demons from the various races fell from the sky one after another, all barely clinging to life, sustaining only a breath. A cold, dignified voice called out from not far away. These useless ones are now yours to take. Thank you, Flood Dragon Lord! Lord, you're mighty. The mountains and forests echoed with deafening cheers. All these big demons from various races had over 5,000 years of cultivation. They're incredible supplements. Eating them could easily boost the snakes by hundreds of years, saving them years of arduous cultivation. And when I dealt with those big demons, I only revealed my massive head. But after the battle ended, I began moving slowly. My winding flood dragon body gradually emerged from the pond's surface. Standing upright, I calmly spoke in a certain direction. Senior, actually, there's no need for you to block those 10,000-year-old demons for me. No need. As soon as I finished, a voice called distantly, Snake King Lord. Ju Yin's sly and cold laughter echoed. Looks like I interfered too much. I smiled slightly. My majestic flood dragon body half bowed toward the distant direction. The help you offered, I will forever remember. No need to flatter. I'm just a snake who dares not transform into a dragon. With no ambition. I don't deserve your grand courtesy, Flood Dragon. I was stunned. You, the mighty Snake King. It's not just a lack of ambition. You even hold grudges. Suddenly, Snake King's voice came again. Those demon kings from various races won't let you off so easily. This time, they just sent some small fry. Next time, I'm afraid it'll be a big operation. No worries. We'll deal with whatever comes. Water can be blocked by earth. You sure are confident. Hope when those demon kings come for you, you can still be so calm.